Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, enjoying some of the last few days of summer here on the beautiful beach. And as we know, the migraine has recently dropped her a podcast with Serena Williams and some flaky interview with pretentious looking black and white dressed pictures with Cut magazine, right? I'm never going to read. I could not care less what this woman says. However, and of course, as many of you, like, who wants to listen to me gain talk on a podcast for an hour? I would never torture myself like that. And the good news is I just discovered, which I'm sure some of you knew, but I didn't know this. If you go to the Spotify website where the podcast is, they have the transcript, a link to the transcript below the podcast. So you don't have to listen to her annoying voice. You could just download the transcript. And this is interesting because there's a man, I can't remember his name, but I posted his video in my community tab where he analyzed what she said. Linguistics is very interesting. When if you're really knowledgeable about it and study it, you can detect so many things about a person's psychology and, even where they're from, education level, and what their intentions are that they're not saying overtly. Now, I've said over and over again, Meghan is very controlling. Every word she utters is for a reason. She is very manipulative and conniving and loves to use her NLP and whatnot. And so this man flushed her out big time with her political ambitions. We always talk about her word salad nonsense. Well, her word salad nonsense is exactly like Trudeau and other World Economic Forum globalist people use. It's not just word salad, it's political speech. It's designed to try to make you think that she's here for you, vote for her. So her language was very much, and I found it entirely despicable how she's trying to represent all women. She actually gets on there and says, oh, the word ambition, oh, women is such a dirty word. It's like, no, it's not. Maybe for you because you were a biatch social climber in the royal family, but it hasn't been used that way for the rest of us, just you, Meghan.
When Meghan's interviewed by New York Times, we don't get any critical thought either. The interviewer, Andrew, shows no discernment of the words he uses and the connections he makes.
You used the word ambition just now.
Oh,
and,
it's a trigger word.
well, no, but it's a word that a lot of people have used to demonize women oftentimes.
Yes.
When the word ambition and women are put together, and you've been on the other end of that.
But she's trying to inflict it on the rest of us. And this guy points out that, yeah, she's talking about herself and trying to defend herself, right? She's hitting back at all the critics who are exposing her for what she really is and what she's really done and what she's really doing. And she's trying to claim, oh, this happens to all women. We all need to stand up together. Like she thinks she's going to get your support. Now, she started her little podcast with talking about that damn story again and again, like a broken record, about sixth grade or whatever age she was, writing a letter to Procter and Gamble that was never replied to. Anyways, I think she brings that up in the beginning because she wants to appeal to girls, young women and girls. So she's like bringing up her childhood there, trying to, relate to them because again, she wants future voters. She doesn't want, obviously she knows people who know what's going on, have seen her in action for a while. No one would vote for her who are aware of what she's been doing, which is why she's targeting the younger ones who aren't paying attention, who can't see through her BS, who don't see how manipulative and conniving and evil she really is. So yeah, so you don't have to listen to her annoying voice. You can just download the transcript and read it, and you can analyze it like that man did. And I think that's you can expose her political ambitions and her self-centeredness. And of course, one of the things I know from linguistics is that narcissists and psychopaths, but mainly narcissists, very often use I, me, myself, over and over and over again. So no matter what they write, no matter what speech they give, it's always me, I. And of course, Meghan is no exception. And this is a repeated theme amongst all narcissists. You look up criminals and murderers who try to defend themselves. They're always I, me, because they don't see everything's all about them. It's always all about them, right? Okay, so I'm going to try to do a Celtic cross. Normally I could just throw cards on the beach because it's so windy and, so beautiful out. And so let's just take a look. I'm going to do a Celtic cross reading here on how Meghan thinks that her podcast really went, considering all the criticism she's gotten and people analyzing it and tearing it apart because she's so horrible. I mean, it's so obvious she's trying to defend herself against the facts that Tom Bauer is coming out with, and she's trying to reach young people to vote for her. She was using political speech and all that, and it's all entirely me. Not about her guests. She has no concept of, other people in her life. It's always about her. So let's see, how does she feel her podcast went now that the wind is just blowing it? I don't know what to do with these cards. Let's see, how does she feel? Very windy here today. Nice, beautiful, sunny, but a little bit windy, windier than usual. How does Meghan feel her podcast went, the reception of it with people? I mean, she knew she was going to be criticized and all that, but does she feel it was successful, or does she feel like she was really exposed? Let's see, how's she really feeling? Hope. So she's feeling hopeful here. She's getting a lot of attention again, which of course she loves. And I think that there's, this is about the future, right? It's not about what it's about, right? It's never about Serena Williams. It's about planting seeds for her future because, as we know, her hopes are political. And, she knows as long as you're still talking about her, even if you're trashing her, she can use that to try to pretend like she's some victim. Oh, she's such a victim. Let's take a look. Let's do a Celtic cross on it, see what the Celtic cross has to say about Meghan, how she's feeling. But getting that she's feeling hopeful for the future, and you notice with this hope card, you've got this mermaid, and she's looking at a rainbow, right? The rainbow is the symbol of the LGBTQRS, etc., which is also part of the New World Order. That's their symbols, the rainbow. They've hijacked it. They're using that. So New World Order is basically the rainbow flags you see everywhere, and BLM is also New World Order, etc. I just have to put that in there because she's looking at a rainbow, and that's looking at the New World Order, looking at the future where she's a dictator with the rest of the dictators, right? That's what she's hoping for, which means by 2030 you have no assets and you own nothing. She's looking forward to that day when you own nothing, because she'll own everything and then she'll shut you up whenever she wants. So she can't wait to shut up all those critics. She can't wait. I'll tell you what, she has the power to do it. She already does have the power to do it. All she has to do is pick up the phone, or her and Harry send messages to the Aspen Institute. By the way, there's an interview with Catherine Austin Fitts where she talks about the Aspen Institute and how she went to a conference with the Aspen Institute, and there they had speakers talking about destroying America. I mean, it's very anti-American. They want to destroy the economy and bring in that digital system that China has. They've been speaking about this for years. This was back in 2017, she said. So this has been in the works for many years. Aspen Institute is very heavily involved. And of course, we know Harry is involved with Aspen Institute with George Soros. So, and Meghan's, of course, a part of it. So it's all there. It's all right in front of your eyes to see what they're really doing and what's really going on. But anyways, let's see how she feels about her little podcast, her terrible podcast that nobody wants to listen to because no one can stand her voice anymore. But she was their fellow witch, Serena, there doing it. Let's find out. Let's take a look here. All All right, so what's her general attitude about her little podcast that she just did? Let's find out here. First card I get. Four of Pentacles reversed. No, she doesn't like that. She's greedy AF. This would be, being stable, secure. She's not stable and secure. And she had to she had her little Sussex squad and other Sunshine Sacks really push the numbers up on that. We all know there's no way in hell that she's more popular than Joe Rogan. And by the way, Joe Rogan just came out and told people, all of his millions of followers, he told them to vote Republican in the next election. So I think that may have been part of the reason why Meghan wanted to rush out and why her, communist progressive team pushed her podcast to number one. All they have to do is listen to a minute of it and it counts. So I'm getting this. She's feeling her stability shaken here because I'm getting Four of Coins reversed. She knows she sucks. King of Cups. But she's doing it to show William and Catherine and Prince Charles. She's doing it to try to reach an audience that they can't reach. Because, they don't have a podcast, right? But they do have, of course, a YouTube channel and a Twitter channel and this Instagram and all that. Of course, Harry and Meghan do too, but they lie and say they don't because they're just pathological liars and criminals. But anyways, yeah, she's doing it to show off to William and Catherine. She's like, see, I can do this. Yeah. She's so fake and phony, though. So she's trying to show off to them, but also to endure herself, trying to come across as this emotionally, well-rounded person, when in reality we all know she's nuts. What was the basis of the situation? Empress reversed. The not mother. The destructive one who wants to destroy the Western world and bring it under communism with her digital currency and control and vaccines every 6 months. Just saying. I know I said the V word, but that is part of the deal. I can't avoid it. That is what their program is. They made it loud and clear, especially in Australia. Just saying. And so, but this about Meghan, though, I think that she's very insecure about her not mother status, being exposed for that, maybe. This kind of looks like Serena Williams a little bit, maybe. Maybe she's like wanting to show off them. But now some people said she wanted to show off to Tom Bauer that, see, me and Serena are really friends. We really are. It's like, yeah, you're fellow witches in a coven. Whatever. Yeah. So this is also nasty women. So her and Serena, like I said in the Ashley video, pointed out they're part of that coven with BLM. Priest Colors and the rest. They're all part of the Ayama Voodoo satanic group, conjuring up demons. They talk about conjuring up demons right there on video. Nasty women, evil, nasty women getting together. That was the whole point of her. Okay, so I'm getting that Meghan's podcast was to get together all her nasty coven women, just like she did with Oprah. Now she's doing with Serena. Serena comes out again and again, right? Serena that was there for Head Start with Harry, and now Serena's here for the podcast. So they drag Serena out every 2 seconds. Serena's always available. I know that Meghan is working with her husband, with Archwell, I guess, and Harry. But I get nasty women at the bottom of this. Nasty, evil, witch, coven women that Meghan belongs to. That's what I'm getting at the bottom of this. She's doing some kind of spell work with this podcast. I'm getting a spell work vibe. Because Serena has her last games coming up, right? She's almost ready to retire. So she's making appearances now, pushing herself out there to get more people to go to her games, her last hurrah maybe, and so that she's pushing. So they're pushing it for money, trying to get more money and stability. Not that they need it, but they want the clicks. And Meghan, of course, wants to run for office. We all know that. Death reverse. Whoa. So obviously Serena and Meghan. Oops, just lost a card. Serena and Meghan are both responsible for helping, Meghan especially, helping push death around the world with her death cult she belongs to. But I also take this as her career is on hold. Like, she hasn't done anything in 2 years. We keep pointing it out. She's lazy. Nothing's going on. Nobody likes her. So death reversed is like you're stuck. And of course, she's coming out and she blames, COVID for not being able to get married a second time to Harry, renewing their vows. So who renews their vows in just a few years? I mean, that's just ridiculous. Must be nice. Anyways, so I think that she's feeling, her and Serena both, especially Meghan, but death could also refer to her sacrifices that she made before the podcast. I think that, they do make sacrifices, and perhaps somebody dying before the podcast inspired her to make this podcast. I don't know who passed away around them recently, besides Prince Philip. This is the last person I know of, but I do see some kind of spell work here on William. I see sacrifices being made. People got to go and count those chickens in her backyard and see how many of the, you see some missing, then we'll know something's up, We need a chicken report, a chicken tally report live from Meghan Markle's backyard. How many chickens are left? If any chickens are missing one day or the next, we know she's up to something. What is she expecting from the podcast? Nine of Pentacles. Of course, it's all about merching herself and her lifestyle. She wants to be a Kardashian. She wants to be the secretive Kardashian, You only get to take pictures that she approves and photoshops of. Oh, and by the way, the royal grift did a great job exposing Harry and Meghan's lie about going to South Africa. What a lie. Oh my God, they photoshopped Harry in a picture with the president of South Africa, who's an inch taller than Harry, but in the picture, Harry looks way taller than him. Oh, I just lost a card. It flew down the beach. My cards are flying all over the place here, so I'm going to wrap this up quickly. What's going to happen in the near future? What's she going to do next? The moon. I see her spreading more rumors and craziness and divisiveness. Major arcana. So I see her pulling a big scandal soon. Blowing things up, dividing people like she always does. So look out for a new. Now this could be about Princess Diana, of course, because we do have her anniversary date coming up. What is she afraid of or not want? Hermit reversed. She doesn't want Harry dragging her down, and she doesn't want to be exposed as the fraud that she is, but of course she is. And her lack of knowledge and lack of, and also, but what she is an expert of is BS and word salad and using, because that word salad, she's using NLP. She learned that with Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum. She's using, like that guy points out in the video that's in my community tab, she's using the exact same political speech as they use. And Trudeau and the rest of them learned that from the World Economic Forum, from Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, and all that World Economic Forum. So she doesn't want you to know that she's manipulating you with her, what she is an expert of, which is her covert neurolinguistic word salad from the World Economic Forum to push herself in the political arena. How does all the criticism affect her? Knight of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, she gets very angry, very upset. She is trying to rally her sisters around her women of color, people of color. All of her podcast is only about women of color, even though she herself has white friends, white husbands, surrounded by white people, identified as white. But she's trying to rally women of color, people of color around her with this podcast. But of course, it's sensationally backfired with South Africa, as we know. But she's still, with all the guests, as it's plain to see, she is trying to align herself with people of color and trying to get their support, obviously, for the future. She wants their political support and votes. Two of Wands, what she's hoping for, and here again, I get the idea, she's hoping for the destruction of the royal family and traditional Western values and Republicans and the MAGA crowd. She wants to bring in this New World Order dictatorship. She's waiting for the destruction, the volcano in the background here, and she's waiting. She's like, oh, it's coming, it's coming. It's coming. We're going to take over. Me and Klaus Schwab and Harry and George Soros and China's Communist Party, we're taking over. She's waiting for our future destruction. She is a distraction from what's going on, politics and whatnot. And she just loves the idea of a tyranny because she wants to be at the top. She loves the idea of destroying her own country, destroying the Western world. She loves it. But in the long term, bad news for her. She is not going to end up being a powerful dictator or congresswoman or president. Well, hopefully not. But I do see that, at least with her podcast, I mean, this is a reading about her podcast, not her political career. So just to be clear, I'm not predicting anything about that. I already did a reading on her aspirations for Congress, and unfortunately, it looked positive. So, but, which of course I could be wrong, hopefully so. But anyways, in this case, with her podcast show, I'm asking how it's going to end up in the long run. And I'm getting that her podcast show is going to be a complete failure. She's going to be very emotionally upset about it, depressed. She's going to go hug her newly adopted dog in the backyard. She's the only one that's going to listen to her because nobody wants to hear her voice. I mean, let's face it, she does not have a podcast voice. No one wants to listen to her talk. I mean, no matter what she says, no one can stand listening to her. I mean, all right, you get sick of some people's voices if you hear it too often, and that's the case with her. But she's always so pushy and demanding and offensive and aggressive. Like, it's just so obvious that she's trying to act like she's some innocent victim, but she's always attacking the status quo, the Western traditions, always attacking white people, like her father. Look how she treats her dad. That's how she's treating everyone. So she's trying to flipperoo her whole story, lies, a fake and a fraud and a phony, and everyone can see through it. She's hoping that you don't see through it. That's why she's again targeting young people. But she hates the criticisms, and I see this Knight of Pentacles reversed, that she's gonna take you down. She doesn't want to be exposed to the fraud she is, but she is a fraud, and she's being misled herself. I think that George Soros and the rest of them, all the globalists, have misled her into thinking she's going to be some powerful dictator, some powerful leader. She's not. They're just, once they lock down and enslave everybody under a digital system, they're going to get rid of all these people that they promised all these things to. They're going to say, no, you're not getting it. And she's going to wake up. Anyways, with this podcast, though, big fail. Everyone's going to criticize it, and no one wants to listen to it. And everyone knows that there's no way in hell she outperformed Joe Rogan. There's just no way. I mean, that's just so laughable. Like, people are not buying it. She thinks she can buy clicks and buy views and fool anyone. We're not fooled anymore. People are awake. They know how you manipulate things. You have money and PR. You manipulate everything. No one's buying it. Nobody likes her. So, and no, this podcast is not going to help her at all. It's just her witches getting together, casting spells, trying to improve her ways, but it's not going to improve anything. Alright, so that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.